this, but I found common ground with you on abortion, and that I completely agree that, whatever you want to call it, a fetus at whatever stage it is, it's alive. There's no contention on that front. My concern, though, and I want to hear your perspective on this, is here in Texas we have the strictest abortion ban in the whole country. There's no exception for rape or incest or for the life of the mother after 6 weeks. My concern is that the government is mandating that people carry out their pregnancies even when it goes against their own life and their own well-being. I can take an example of if somebody's threatening to harm you, you have a right to self-defense. Why not have give the same autonomy to people who are pregnant?
Okay, thoughtful question. Thank you. So, first thing is, if you believe abortion is wrong, which you admitted it is, well then you should obviously have laws that.
I'll clarify. I didn't admit that abortion was wrong.
Okay,
I said
yeah,
I
please
see
clarify.
it as a form of self-defense.
Okay, right. So that's a new one.
Well, as the previous person says, that person inside of you is completely dependent on you in a way different than a natural-born child.
So in most cases, rape and incest aside, how did that being get there?
I mean, in most cases, through sex, regardless of rape or incest.
Yeah, so there was a choice made.
I see your point. Even with a choice, let's say you invite someone into your home and they still decide to assault you. Does that mean you not have a right to self-defense against them?
Well, no. I think that, for example, if you have a bunch of teenagers over to your home and they start wrecking everything, you shouldn't be shocked when all of a sudden you wake up the next morning and things are a little awry.
But we're not just talking about wrecking a home. We're talking about wrecking your own body, your own personal autonomy.
Well, hold on. Again, rape and incest aside, of which I'm happy to answer and happy to talk about the moral aspect of that, but 98% of all abortions are done as a form of birth control, right?
Sure.
It's a form of birth control. How did those people get pregnant?
Usually through consensual sex.
Right. So they are pro-choice. They made a choice to have consensual sex, and now they want to be able to use scientific medical technology to crush a being that is not them, is a different person out of convenience?
Let's say you have a child who needs a kidney transplant, and you are the only one who can supply it, and you consensually allow them to use that kidney. What if the operation goes too long? They're still kind of using your blood for months on end. Should the government mandate, maybe not kidney?
I love these hypotheticals. I got it. Not making fun of you.
No,
earlier I got the most amazing hypothetical. We don't have to overthink this. Like, why should children get the death penalty because their parents decided to have consensual sex? I don't understand that.
Sir, even if you consent to, say, taking care of your child through the, transfusing blood or whatnot, should the government mandate that you have to continue that consensual blood transfusion?
Again, under the unrealistic hypothetical, and I reject the whole premise of this. The
It's
question
not
is this.
unrealistic.
Let me answer it more broadly. Do I think the government should step in to protect and preserve human right be it by mandating, especially when the question is termination or not? Of course the answer is yes. But it says a lot when there's a very serious concrete question, and kind of we have to yield to these abstractions, which is fine. The philosophical sides and the kind of the hypotheticals are fine, are legitimate, I suppose, in some sense, but it comes to be just more concrete, right? We've got 1 million abortions every single year, okay? 998,000 of them are because of a form of birth control. Do you find something wrong with that?
Not necessarily.
Okay. I think there is something wrong with that. I think that just looking at the last resort to be able to terminate human life as a form of birth control is not just sick, it's immoral, and it says a lot about who we are as a people and kind of the folding of a cultural life in our nation. And so I'll just ask one final question. When does human life begin?
It begins at conception, but that doesn't override the right to bodily autonomy and self-protection.
Okay, so that's interesting. So it does begin at conception. So does that mean someone who is larger than another being has the right to terminate them? Because why is it bodily autonomy? Just because the being is in them?
The size doesn't matter. It's the self-defense. If a toddler is running a knife at you, you can knock it down. I'm sorry. I'm kind of impromptu here as we keep going.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, so I'll just close with this. Don't use that analogy again.
Yeah. No, that was a bad one.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks.